Hey guys, it's MerseyGirls.
Welcome back to the 5th episode of
BeHeard with MerseyGirls.
So we've been running through the script, and this is a topic that means quite a lot to Becky in many ways, so that's why she's a bit upset, but we're all going to stand by her, and we hope that you guys can support her as well. Thanks. She's going to do amazing to get through this. Thank you all so much for the artwork you've been tagging us in using the hashtag BeHeardMG. We've added a few more up here, as you can see, and they're so lovely, so keep them coming.
Once again, we cannot thank you enough for all your continued support, and thank you all so much for sending in your stories. But if we haven't picked yours, we are sorry, but we will have seen them hopefully, and we do try our best to comment back to you all and reply to all your DMs. But don't forget to use the hashtag BeHeardMG so we don't miss your story.
So this week's topic is on mental health, which unfortunately is a topic which affects far too many people, especially nowadays. So during our research of the topic, we looked up the definition to learn a bit more about it. So it says that mental health includes our emotional, psychological and social well-being. It affects how we think, feel and act. It also helps determine how we handle stress, relate to others and make choices. Mental health is important at every stage of life, from childhood and adolescence through to adulthood.
Around 1 in 10 people suffer from mental health issues, and a lot of them can actually be treated, but they need to be treated early before it develops into a more serious problem. And many mental health issues affect different people in different ways, and they last for different amounts of time as well.
And I think there's like a stigma around talking about mental health, because people often think that it's weird or that they're weak, but it's not the case, because it is an illness just like any other. So say if you have got the flu, you'd speak up about that and go to the doctors. So if you've got a mental health issue, then it's exactly the same, so you should speak out, and hopefully that would stop the symptoms from getting any worse, so that it won't lead to things like suicidal thoughts or self-harm. And if it has led to self-harm, we've actually done a video on that, so please check that out, and we hope you're alright.
Do you think maybe because mental health isn't so obvious, like an injury or like a broken finger will be, that it's less like people like are less open about it and it's less noticeable?
Yeah, definitely.
I reckon
Like
that's-
Becky saw something in...
Yeah, like one thing I saw was that when people break their arm and they get a cast, everyone runs towards them to sign the cast and ask if they're okay.
Yeah.
But if someone says that they've got a mental health issue, everyone runs in the opposite direction. It like affects your like whole life. It's not just like your
How you
thoughts
feel.
and feelings, it's like it's the people around you as well, I think, get affected by it a lot as
Definitely.
well. Who's speaking next?
Me.
Okay.
We would genuinely love to have the time to tell everyone's stories and get you all out there, but unfortunately we don't, so we've tried to pick a few that show different ways in which people suffer from mental health.
Yeah.
So some of the stories we'll be covering are anxiety, depression, PTSD and panic attacks. So
Do you want me to go first?
Yeah.
So my story is from a young girl, and her biological dad is an alcoholic, and he used to beat her when she was as young as 5 years old.
That's
And
so sad.
Because he was an alcoholic, he would steal her mum's money to buy more alcohol. And then her mum broke up with him. So then when she was 6, she got a new stepdad. And he was nice until about 7 years old, when he got really abusive, and he would like make her stand in the corner for ages if she did made like the
That's
smallest
really young
mistake.
as well.
So young, so she mustn't have known what was going
Yeah.
on really.
So sad.
And he'd pick her up by her ears so that her feet were off the floor, which is just such a horrible thought.
It is.
So then anyway, she told the school, and when they like confronted her stepdad, he denied everything. And they got a social worker, but her dad said, if you tell the social worker like what I've done, I'll beat you. So she obviously like didn't say.
That's such a hard situation.
I know. And then she came out as pansexual, and then she wasn't accepted by a lot of people, so then she self-harmed, and people were noticing, so she got a lot of like hate for this at school. And then it led to things such like anxiety, so when people would go to high-five her, she'd like panic and flinch because of it brought back the memories from the
That's
past.
like PTSD.
It is kind of like that, yeah. And then it led her to want to kill herself because she ended up with depression as well. And then her mum has broken up with her stepdad now, and she's getting more accepted in school, and she's getting counselling, which is really great.
Yeah.
And her mum is also always there for her, so she's spoke about it which has got her help. And she also said that her internet best friends she's met over our fandom are always there for her too, which is just so great.
I feel like that's quite hard because you had like the biological dad, and then you thought you got away from that, but then you had the stepdad, so it's kind of like a never-ending.
Yeah, and like we were saying in the abusive video, that if it's your family, it's harder to get away from.
Especially like in our abusive one, like the mum was sticking up for the stepdad, but in this case your mum's like helping you, so that's great.
That's
Definitely. Like, and I just want to say well done for sharing that with us as well, because I know that must have been hard, and well done for getting counselling as well. I'm sure. I hope it's going well.
Like at such a young age, that like growing up with that, you may think that's the norm or normal, but it really isn't, and it's really great that you're getting counselling to try and help you through.
Yeah, definitely.
I hope you never have to experience anything like that again.
I'm going next, okay?
Okay.
So this young girl says, I've always suffered with mental health. I remember when I was in year 4, my teacher having a meeting with my mum, and it turns out it was to do with her mental health. So year 4 is like really young. I think it's like 8 years old. So she's just started year 10 and she's now getting help. It took about 5.5 years for them to help her though. They gave her counselling, but she's really, really shy, and she was too shy to talk. And then even when her mum would say like what was happening to her and how she felt, she didn't like it because she was so shy. She suffers with anxiety and depression, and she always gets thoughts that like she doesn't deserve to live, and that like everyone would be happier if she was dead, and like really sad things like that. She always got the thoughts about self-harming because like she feels she deserves to be in pain, but she gets too scared to do it. But today, well, she says today, but it was like a few days ago, she started self-harming in school, and it scares her because she thought like it would be really bad, and she doesn't mean to sound rude when she says this, but she feels like it hurt more after it happened than it did in the moment, and that scares her because she's scared that she'll like do it again and stuff. And then with her anxiety, she thought she'd like offended her teacher, and so she was really like stressing out about it, but luckily the teacher was like, no, it's fine, like it's okay. But she started having a panic attack because of it. But then she saw her dance teacher, and her dance teacher asked like why she was upset, and she started crying, and she felt really embarrassed, but the teacher was really, really supportive.
That's good.
And she had like a drama group after school, so the teacher told her to like go and chill out and like go to drama because like she enjoys it. And then she says, I'm getting counselling now, and I'm opening up, and I'm now on antidepressants, so hopefully I will get a lot better.
Well, that's great.
Glad you have a kind of positive
Yeah.
because what you've gone through seems so hard to come out of,
And for like so long as well.
Yeah, definitely. And like it took you like 5 years or what is that
Like
what you
5.5.
said? And don't worry about the self-harm thing, like being scared about it, but just try and think of other ways to maybe hurt yourself, like Julia said in our other
holding
video.
ice, that's a good tip.
We have a video about self-harm as well.
It'll be in the description.
Hopefully that will help, because I think mental health leads on to self-harm and suicide. That's the problem.
Keep pushing.
Yeah, so this week we got a story from a man in his 30s, which is different from the usual people who are tending to message us, and we think that's amazing that you're speaking out, and we're really like proud of that. So he said that he actually reached out to Julia because he had scoliosis. He also had other conditions like osteoporosis, and he's had 32 operations. Growing up, it had been difficult because he couldn't do the things a lot of his friends could, and he wasn't always invited to things. As he grew up, more health problems developed, and he now has depression, anxiety, PTSD because of the things in his life. He did try to commit suicide, which we're really sad to hear. And having been talking to someone for a few years, he's been talking to someone for a few years to try and fix his problems as much as possible.
That's so sad.
Like a lot of people are speaking out about it at the end, which is so great. But obviously, I know it must have been horrible what you've been through.
Do you ever feel that like maybe like your condition has like affected your mental health?
Well, I mean, sometimes when I was going to get the fusion surgery, it did make me really upset that I wasn't going to be able to dance again, because dancing was my happiness, so like I thought that was going to get taken away from me. But thankfully, obviously, I have a lot of supportive friends, and I did speak up about it to you guys and my parents, so that definitely did help me, so I'd advise that definitely.
Okay. So my story is from a young girl, and since last year she was diagnosed with depression and anxiety, and I feel like that's what most of the stories
Yeah.
we read about
It's a
on
common
social.
theme.
Yeah, it's mainly that because that's such a big part of it.
Yeah.
But she said she felt like a disappointment, so she didn't tell anyone other than her boyfriend because he has depression too. So she knew he would understand her. He's very caring, but sometimes she feels like she can't tell him anything because he has his own personal problems, and so she feels like she can't push onto him as well, which I completely get that, because with me and my boyfriend I sometimes get scared to like tell him things, not because I think he's going to judge, just because I don't want to push him away, because like most of you probably know I suffer from anxiety too, so I feel like I'm a bit of a burden onto him a lot, and I don't want that to push him away, so I do get why you're saying that. But with no one else aware of it, she just feels a bit lost, and she's a dancer and she's been dancing for 10 years, and she's just starting musical theatre at college, and it's really helping her to bring out her confidence, and she uses dance as a way of expressing her feelings without actually having to tell anyone, which I'm sure we can all relate to. She has a message to say. She says, "Stay strong, everyone. Everyone has bumps in the road, but you can choose to get over them and carry on." So yeah, that was a really
That's
positive
really nice.
ending. But
I like how they all have positive endings.
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah, I think
And it
that's
shows the people watching, if you suffer, that there is a light at the end of the tunnel if you just keep pushing and staying strong and speak up.
and try to think positive if you're going through all of it, because thinking negatively, I know personally, just makes it a whole 10 times worse. So
Yeah,
just try to do some positive thinking, positive vibes.
maybe get into a sport because it is a
Yeah.
good way to get out and
Get your mind off it.
definitely.
But with the boyfriend thing, honestly, he will understand, so
Yeah.
try not to worry too much
And I
about
think that if you're, someone's helping you, it's good if you're both helping each other. So if it's not constantly you just telling them your problems, if they tell you yours, then that's like a healthy helping
Yeah.
each other
Yeah.
kind of thing.
And if you feel maybe that you don't want to tell your boyfriend everything, then that is okay, and you could tell other people. It's
That's
just as long as you're being heard and you're speaking out, that's the main thing. So it could be a teacher at school or a parent or anyone. We've also put like helplines as well. Like, I know it's really personal, but does anyone feel like they can relate to having like a mental health or like to these stories?
I think everyone knows about me. I'm pretty much an open book, so everyone knows I have anxiety and body dysmorphia, so that can really affect my day-to-day life, and it can be really... It's hard to speak about, but I think it's just good to try and talk. Like, it is something that's very, very common, and I'm getting a bit nervous speaking about it, my heart's going a bit quick right now.
Yeah, and I think like some of us do, like, you find it hard to speak out, you don't like speaking out, do you, as much, so
I think a lot of people are like that as well. Like,
Yeah.
you're scared people will judge you, but they won't.
yeah.
It's fine.
So like you speak out to me, like, and that's great that you do that. So you might not want to speak out to a parent, but like we would advise that. But maybe a friend or a teacher, just anyone.
I think like speaking out is like the best thing that you can do for like your first step, and then from there you'll probably get a lot of help after that.
Definitely.
And sorry, you go.
Even if like your first counselling, if you go to a counselling session doesn't work out, then you really have to stick at it, don't you? Because you might find a different counsellor who works better for you, or it just might seem to get better after a while. So don't quit after the first one, or like, give it a good chance. And
Like,
then
I
go
always
down.
think it gets worse before it gets better, because you might find out things, they might tell you things that you might not have realised, so they dig deeper than you'd like ever imagine, but then that can help you get better.
And if you do suffer from panic attacks, like a lot of people have said, try and find ways that will help you. Like, I know for me, just breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and do some positive thinking, because if I'm going to have a panic attack, that's what I try and do to stop it. And now, you're not alone. So.
Yeah. I think that's the main message, is that just because you might have a mental like illness, that doesn't make you not normal. You are normal. We all are different, and we all have differences, but that's just what makes you you, and definitely you're not alone, because so many people suffer from it. So why do you think mental health is on the rise, particularly now amongst teens, like nowadays?
I think maybe social media is a huge part of it,
Yeah.
because everyone's seeing unrealistic like things of people's lives and bodies and stuff, so I do think that has a massive impact on it, because then you wish you were like them, you think your life's not as good as theirs, and you just start to wonder.
Yeah,
why
our
you
counsellor
bothering.
in college like said that a certain amount of time spent on social media affects your self-esteem.
Yeah.
So it definitely does affect the way you think about yourself.
Yeah, like we were talking on the radio the other day that on social media you only see people's best bits. You don't
Yeah.
see
Yeah.
the bits where they're upset or having arguments. You just see like a happy family or a happy person, and that like can affect your like self-esteem, like you said. But it's not always the truth what people put on social media.
Yeah, and I think cyberbullying, because it is quite new with all like the new advances in technology,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and I think that might be a reason why mental health issues have suddenly like risen so much as well.
Yeah.
But what do you think can be done about it? Because it's really affecting a lot of people.
Definitely, I think school is so important in teaching like students about it. I know our school definitely does do days where experts come in, and
Yeah.
there's like counsellors at school offered,
Yeah.
which is great. I think all schools should do that, because it's like a support network, especially if you're not getting that at home, then school is important.
And like all the counsellors are from like outside of school as well, so they
Yeah.
don't share any information
Yeah,
with school unless like they
confidential.
really need
Unless
to.
it's unsafe.
So it is like really like safe and
Safe.
secure.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think maybe also encouraging children from a young age to talk about their fears and what's going on with them, so that they know it's normal to talk and it's
Yeah.
okay to talk. Because if like you live a life where you don't think it's okay to talk, that could be because from a young age you were told maybe like don't worry about your fears, don't think about them and that, but we should bring it out of them instead, maybe.
Yeah,
Definitely.
Thank you so much for watching this video. We really hope it's shown people that you're not alone, and it's encouraged people to reach out and get help. And it is obviously really, really important to get help. And the roads might seem really long, but you don't have to travel it alone.
That's so nice.
Coming out with all of them today.
So we've put helplines in the description below of organisations that you can contact if you feel like you're alone and you can't speak to anyone else. And we are always really happy for you to contact us through like direct message or any social media using the hashtag BeHeardMG.
So next week's topic is discrimination, and unfortunately we live in a world where people freely discriminate against people for things such as their looks, their weight, disability, the colour of their skin, their sexual orientation, their gender identity, or even things such as their beliefs. So we think that this is such a huge topic, so if you've ever experienced anything to do with discrimination, then make sure to send us in your stories on any social media using the hashtag BeHeardMG, and we will keep all of your privacy.
Just to change the topic completely, make sure to check out our other weekly video called hashtag Challenge MerseyGirls, where we compete in crazy challenges set by you guys in the hope of being crowned the ultimate Mersey girl.
Thank you so much for watching, guys, and continue to watch every week. Remember to comment any ideas you have for topics below that you would like us to cover.
Bye
guys.
keep smiling, and of course keep shining like the stars that you are.
Yay!
I love you guys!
You learnt on the spot.